Alright, so I've just fired up the P1000 to show you where the sun is appearing here at the Cherry Grove Fishing Pier, the Prince Resort. Please hashtag YouTube Truth or Robert Forsch if you care to. Thanks for the public and private encouragement, likes and shares. I appreciate that immensely. So right now I don't have cars coming, and I'll just step aside just a wee bit. Yesterday I couldn't show you this because there were too many clouds. You can check it out if you care to. I had a live Facebook broadcast that I turned into a YouTube recording and upload. Any of us that want can do that. Good morning, John. So we're expecting about 20 million guests here in this area, the Grand Strand area. Consider yourself welcome. Come on over, check it out if you care to. So at this area in particular, because of where we are, we'll have, for example, professional photographers and family photos. Weddings, anniversaries, all of that are recorded and occur. Some of them here, some of them at other locations on the beach. And now we can see the moon again. I'm going to head right on over next to the ocean so we can hear the sound of that and see the beauty of all of this. The reflection and the sun will follow the eyes of the observers, which is all of us right now. So this is a real family-oriented area. You can see the nice, clean, textured sand and the little seagull footprints in the sand. Yesterday I did some surf recording out here, surfers. I hashtagged it, and then when I clicked on the hashtag to see more, I found 10 hours of bonsai pipeline surfing. It was spectacular. I added it to my like video playlist. Absolutely phenomenal to watch that. In the middle of the view, what's really obvious is the symmetry and reflections on the wet sand, which is extremely reflective. I'll just go ahead and drop it down. When we're talking about perspective, just raising and lowering the lens of the camera or where we're looking at makes a huge, huge difference. Higher is drier, lower is wetter, all over the face of the stationary Earth. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in tight on the moon right now and show you what I can come up with. Okay, so the moon is definitely not a perfect sphere. We can see it's an odd shape. If you can't see that, then I don't know what to tell you. You can explore the photos on my... Yeah, I do know what to tell you. You're wrong. It's not a sphere. Okay. What it is more of like an odd shape that tumbles, rotates, all of that through the seasons, through the phases of the moon. I've got video and photo evidence of it on my channel. Okay, so we're going to see some interaction with the clouds. Job 37 says the sun is in the midst of the clouds. Joshua 10, God stopped the sun and the moon from moving. Now you may think, well, I'm not a Bible believer, speaking of yourself. Well, you may not be right now. And then you may find a good reason to be, like changed lives like me. You might take a look at, I don't know what's going to happen to me. I'm exposing the wicked rulers of this world, and Satan is the head of he's the major puppet master of all this. Yet God is still sovereign. He's still in control, large and in charge. God created this world. Satan is the usurper and the imposter. I would like to talk to Frank Abagnale. Catch me if you can. I met him face to face in Wisconsin when he spoke at Rawhide Boys Ranch. He was involved in exposing financial fraud. I've got his testimony up on my channel as well. He lives in Charleston now. Well, there's a major fraud being perpetrated on humanity. The presentation of a false reality. It's not real. That's why I'm exposing artificial intelligence for the tool of Satan that it is, and yet God will use everything, including Satan and artificial intelligence. So right now we've got the family photos, and I'm just tagging along. And that's obviously a professional. I see her out here quite a bit. A lot of people will ask me to take their photos when I'm not recording like this, so, and I'll do that. I've been doing that for about a decade here. So I don't get the real serious, obvious interaction between the sun and the clouds right now. That's fine. I don't have confirmation bias, just wanting to show you what I want you to see, although I've got some creative content production where I want to show you an example of what I can. There's a video uploading right now that I shot at about 5:30, just about an hour before the sun appeared. See, what I'm able to show you, and I'm commenting on it, for the zoomed in view, you can see that, but for the live broadcast on YouTube, I'm talking about what I'm showing on a tight, high magnification zoom. It's obvious that it's not the shadow of the moon, it's not there. Now, the moon appears full, and it actually appears spherical when it's a full moon. Obviously, I've got video of that. So another term is called cognitive dissonance. People largely, my version of it is, what I say it is, people believe the lie they want to believe, and God will help them do it. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 says to everybody forever, they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion. So this is beyond somebody just tricking you, or maybe not you. It's more than a deception by people that are trying to take money from your account. It's way bigger than that. It's Satan wanting to trick you into believing that God isn't real, so you can just do your own thing. However, God's word says to everybody forever, you need to be born again to even see the kingdom of heaven. That's the primary reason why I'm even doing this day in, day out. And it's not just so people will believe. It's also so people will be presented the truth and reject it. Not that I want them to do that. I want them to receive the truth, to accept it. And I believe that's only going to happen by divine intervention. That's what happened to me shortly after Robin Williams committed suicide. I was born again about a month later. Actually, 2014 on Halloween, or Reformation Day as I prefer to call it. However, the enemy of our soul celebrates Halloween with human sacrifice. wicked entities doing evil things to humanity. There's a bulge of water in the middle of the view that's moving all around the earth. And not just like this little bit of water going everywhere. It's intermingled, it's intermixed. But the tidal activity is 45 minutes to an hour different in Myrtle Beach than it is here. That's one of the reasons why I show this. And the people searching, walking, running, photoing, all of that. Singles, married, couples of all different types. All right, so what do we have now? More beautiful sunrise, of course. So the sun, moon, and stars move over the stationary Earth. The wind moves, the water moves, the people move, airplanes move, information moves. People come from all over to enjoy the beauty and majesty of this area. And then all over the world, you may have a highly visited area where you live, and you can adapt some of what I do here if you want to. Having a Truthmobile and wearing having a YouTube Truthmobile and stickers and shirts. I wear the shirts wherever I go. I'm a walking billboard of the truth as best I understand it. So you may not agree with what I believe the truth is and not want to do anything with the content that I have on my channel. You may even be able to find some of my content elsewhere. Good luck with that. Seriously. Because in the context of exposing the deception, it's on my channel as well. I'm exposing it. I'll talk about it on my live or recorded broadcasts. If you're looking for empirical evidence to figure out whether we're on a spinning water sphere or a level plane, I can tell you reality exposes the global deception, the global lie. It's not possible for people to live upside down in relationship to other people. It's not possible and it's not occurring. It's more than there isn't. People will have a pet issue. They may say, well, you know, ships disappear over the horizon. I would say, well, it only appears that way, but we're not on a water sphere. I wanted to show you the reflections and shadows. See, when people spend thousands of dollars to come here to enjoy the beauty of this, there's typically a lot of hand-holding. People try and be on their best behavior. Set them loose on the internet, presenting a contrary perspective, and they'll get downright angry and obnoxious. A lot of times people don't want to have their worldview questioned. How could I be deceived? Well, by irony and paradox, if I were deceived, I wouldn't know it. And I can tell you that was the case. I was deceived about many issues, and I was unaware of it. Now to apply critical thinking with the laws in place of, like, for example, the law of non-contradiction. Two different facts or supposed facts cannot be accurate if they contradict one another. I'll give you an example. I've been out here on the beach, and it says I'm at 260 feet above sea level or 10 feet below sea level. Both on the internet. Well, they can't both be right, obviously. That's my point. And to take that into the other issues of life, when I found out that the battle we are in, it's not that we were in it, we're in a theater, not like a dinner theater, we're in a theater of battle right now. People's souls are hanging in the balance for eternity. 7 people per second no longer have the human experience. We're all eternal beings having a temporary human experience. Half of those deaths annually are roughly from abortion. Children and people that were never allowed to see the light of day. Where are they and why? I can see an overall dimming of the light, which means it's into some serious heavier clouds. And there it is. That's part of the sun, the local sun, right there. Showing it to you right now. So my local sun content, hashtag it, has approaching 1 million views now. I've captured it on many times, many occurrences, and I'm not in control of how many people watch it, like it, share it, tag other people's names in it, call me a whack job. I'm not in control of any of that. I would rather people look at it and say, wow, how does that even work? Like the Great Pyramids. How did they even build those? I've got documentaries that cover that. And it's still presented as, some of it as mystery, and to hear the critical thinking, well, we don't know exactly how long ago it was built or who did it, but it took 20 years to build it. How would that even be knowable? The universe is how many billions of years old according to the experts? How is that knowable to them? Well, it's not. And so, for example, as powerful as artificial intelligence is, God is omniscient. Omniscience is how omniscience is spelled. It's the capacity to know everything, which is an attribute reserved for God. He reserved it for himself so he could unpack and decode some of what's going on all around us. And to be real specific, the Word in the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God, the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. So I'm unapologetically a biblical creationist. I believe God created this world. He knows exactly what he's doing. He so powerfully moved on the hearts of his prophets to write down what this world is about and what he wanted us to know, that they were able to transcribe what the one author of Scripture has said. There you go. And that's why I do this, so I can expose this reality to anybody who will care to know. There's some things I know for sure. There's some things that I have to believe because knowing isn't quite possible yet. So where will you spend an eternity and why? Well, I understand Scripture says that God is sovereign. He's all-knowing. And he knew his children before the foundation of the world. So before he spoke this world into existence, he knew who his children would be and when they would be born again. That happened to me in 2014, even though I thought I was born again in 1982. The reason I struggled so much with the flesh is that's all I had. As we watch the man walking, the shadow and reflection will change because of water elevation, the contour of the ground. As water reflects a man's face, God's Word reflects the man. When I was addicted to drugs, alcohol, prescription drugs, some as prescribed, Robin Williams and I were both diagnosed with bipolar and struggled with drug addiction, legal and illegal, struggled with life. In 2005, I tried to end my life with the Tylenol PM overdose. While on Prozac and Depakote, there's a high morbidity rate around those drugs. So whatever you believe about the shape of the earth, well, if you get depressed because people are picking on you, and you decide to get on medications that make you suicidal and homicidal, for an added difficulty about that. The support network for compliance for medications would really not be as powerful if the family knew they were potentially on the hit list for their patient or their family member. That's just a little bit hard to control. Yeah. So they closed a lot of the mental institutions and provided pharmaceutical straitjackets for much of humanity. So those that are on a prescription drug that they get at the corner drugstore, that's one level. And then there's fantasy, trips to space with NASA and Elon Musk and SpaceX and all of that. And video games and pornography and movies to delight the senses, the imagination. The space NASA and Hollywood and Satan are primarily concerned with is the space between your ears, mind controlling you, presenting a false reality, tricking you. I believed as a child up till the age of 7 that Santa was figuring out whether to bring me a lump of coal or my wish list. Most of the people that I've talked to, when they were honest, they said yeah for a while. And when I found out Santa, the whole Santa lies, and I've hashtagged it and talked about it, when I found out that was a lie, well, that lie was replaced with the moon landing hoax, taking my imagination to space, enthroning all the knowledgeable in their own mind. They considered them wise and became fools, saying that God doesn't exist, that we're the thing of stardust. I don't care how many letters an individual has around their name, like doctor of this and that, digits in their Monopoly Money bank account. I'm not impressed. If they believe they live on a spinning water ball and we evolved from monkeys, I know they're deceived about both of those. And then there are those that are very critical of conspiracy theories, and they're all praising Jesus. They might not be born again. I believe it's very unlikely that somebody that is unconcerned with knowing the truth about key issues in this world, like wars and mind control and the wicked things that are being perpetrated on humanity by Satan and his children and the fallen angels. For people that think that all that stuff doesn't matter, I'm concerned for their soul, and I can be. I see it day in and day out. What does it matter? Well, the truth matters. That's the short answer. So what I wanted to say too is the video yesterday could not see much of the skyline in Myrtle Beach, and obviously now we can. And it's only like less than 30 miles away. So that's one of the reasons why we can't see Europe from here. Moisture in the air is reflective and impairs perspective. Deception in the air, in the world all around us, impairs knowing the truth. I'm convinced it's only by God's grace that anybody can love and believe the truth, let alone find it. Now I'm going to zoom in on some moisture in the air and just show you that's 2 miles away. And we can barely see the beginning of the pier, and yet we can see the end of the pier pretty clear. That's what I'm talking about, is that God needs to intervene and help people see the reality of the world we live in. Hey, good morning, Gene. Good to see you, man. Gene is about 75 years old now. He's a longboarder. Yeah. Very fit guy. That's part of the reality of the world that we live in. A body in motion stays in motion. Active people look healthier typically. I put in super healthy nutrition. Wow, that's beautiful how the sun is hitting those clouds. I bathe in drinking water with magnesium sulfate and baking soda and coconut oil as I choose to. Highly purified carbon filtered drinking water I store up in 5-gallon jugs. My system has a 2-gallon tank or so, but it produces 70 gallons a day, so I've got plenty of water to bathe in. I eat highly purified nutrition, or highly powered nutrition: spinach, kale, chia seed, mixed berries, bananas, honey, all of that. Garbage in, garbage out. Healthy nutrients, what I think about, what I watch, listen to, believe, all of that affects my reality and how I see it. This is Robert Forsch. I encourage people to research reality. Thank you so much.